Hi, it's Chris Watkin here, and I'm joined by Mark Burgess. Mark, you are the boss man of Iceberg, and you work with an awful lot of estate agents on your business generation software, Lifecycle 2. I want to ask you a question of how important is content marketing for estate agents to generate more listings? Talk to me.
Well, in my opinion, there is no other kind of marketing. There's only content marketing. The reason I say that is because if you look at how companies work in today's world, it's not about trying to find just one person who's thinking about selling their house today. It's about slowly getting people to know, like, and trust your company, so that when they make their decision, people don't make rational decisions when they buy products. It's an irrational process, and that irrational process involves them knowing, liking, and trusting a company or product or brand. It's why you've got an iPhone. It's why I've got an iPhone. So how do you do that? You do that by giving people useful content, and over time they learn to know, like, and trust your company, and when they need your services, they immediately think of your brand. So for me, content is the number one thing on a company's marketing plan. It's not possible to do marketing without it.
Okay, so when we're talking about content marketing, well, I'm assuming we're talking about great content, like talking about yourself, your firm, your services, how awesome your estate agency is, right move pie charts, that sort of stuff, yeah?
Actually, it all forms part of a funnel. The interesting thing is that, you'll need different pieces of content depending on where someone on the journey is. We know from looking at the stats inside Lifecycle that content like the type that you produce around stats and that sort of thing is some of the highest performing content inside that system. But you do need a wide range, but more importantly than just needing the wide range, you need to know where the person is in the funnel to put the right content in front of them that's relevant for them.
So do you need a particular type of content to almost bring them into the funnel, and then a different type of content to bring them through, and then so a lot of people think I'm anti right move pie charts. I'm not anti right move pie charts, but putting it at the top ain't going to bring them, but putting them towards the bottom to give social proof. It's vital.
Most people haven't got a system that would allow them to know that. So they have to stick it out to everybody and hope that it lands in front of the right people.
Throw enough shit at the wall so that it'll stick.
But what they're not taking into account is that you're also putting off the people that are not at that stage of the funnel. Like you say, who wants a right move pie chart? If I'm not even thinking about moving, it might make me unfollow you because it's just annoying. However, if I just had a valuation from you, then suddenly that's going to be quite powerful.
Okay, well, this is not a promo video for me just on its own. What other people out there are producing great content that you can see scientifically is working in the Lifecycle system?
So there's lots of writers. There's Kelly Jeffrey, who was an agent who writes content for people. There's Jerry Lyons.
So what type of content are these people writing?
I think, it's quite wide-ranging, but the point with content is that one is consistent. If you're not consistent with your content, you're not going to get noticed. People are not sitting there waiting for one shitty blog every 6 months.
Is this the drip, drip, drip?
It must be like that. The Beatles released something like 268 songs and had 10 number ones. You've got to be consistent. Otherwise, you're never going to find the gold. If you do one blog every 6 months, it just never works.
So, I mean, Jerry, you say Kelly, their content is a little bit more softer, a bit more what I would call Daily Mail in their approach, which is absolutely spot on. And you've got, do people use Dataloft in your system?
I'm sure they do. I mean, people use Dataloft. Obviously, they're using your kind of content. They're using Kelly's kind of content, Jerry's kind of content, Ruth's content. The point is that one, it must be consistent. Two, you must try and think of something that addresses every part of the funnel, because also what's going to happen at the end of the month, or if you're using Lifecycle, or if you're doing it manually, the system's going to pull all your content together, put it in a newsletter and send it to the database. You need all the different parts of the funnel in that newsletter, or you can't identify where someone is.
And will the Lifecycle, and again, we're not turning this into a promo video for Lifecycle 2, but will the Lifecycle 2 recognise the different types of content and where they are on the journey then?
Yeah. So, if I'm reading a piece of content that is 4 ways to decorate your home this spring, I shouldn't be placed in an audience of people that might be about to put their house on the market. It's just awareness. We don't need to worry about it. They're at the top of the funnel, but they are starting to know, like, and trust your brand. They're spending a bit of time with you. However, if I'm reading perhaps 4 things that you need to know if you need to sell your house before the end of the year, then of course the system needs to put you down more at the stage of consideration. This guy's thinking about doing things. Maybe he might be the right person to retarget with an instant valuation ad, see if we can push him on one stage further. If someone's done an instant valuation ad, push them on to maybe doing a remote valuation, so on and so forth. So you need content at all parts of the funnel, and importantly, you need people at all stages of the funnel. And the more you have at the top, obviously, the more is going to fall out the bottom.
So it's the content or the petrol to the engine that brings them through to basically be presented with basically almost guaranteed listings at the end.
People who are starting in a estate agency often say to me, "Oh, this would be a great system for when I'm, a year down the line." And I think to myself, how can you start a business any other way? If I was starting a business tomorrow, I have to have a data system and I have to have content. Otherwise, what am I going to do?
I get the same. But people say when I can afford you, I can have you. But there you go. That's the choice that people make, isn't it?
You've got to go into a business with a realistic plan as to how much it costs to run that business. There's a lot of people out there that want a free CRM, free content, free way of getting their properties on the portals, and then they want to charge people 2%. It doesn't make any sense.
Thank you for your time today.
No problem.